All right, I'm going to call this meeting to special meeting to order. It is 7 o'clock, and we have a roll call.
Commissioner Doss?
Here.
Commissioner Coleman?
I am also here.
President Dan?
Here.
Commissioner Marks?
Here.
And Commissioner Higgins?
Present.
This time we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. Patrick?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we didn't have any closed session this evening, so we are going to go direct to public comment, to comments not on the agenda.
Ken Sawatsky, here we are. We didn't even go one meeting without having another special meeting on a Monday at 7 o'clock. Wrong. I mean, I'm going to have to throw F-bomb bullshit at that one. I strongly support you having a special meeting for a special purpose. And the one item that you needed to have is on here was a dredging, and I can understand having that. But the bait and switch where we have all these other topics on here and all this other stuff, and here we are Monday at 7 o'clock. On a non-normal scheduled time. So it's getting a little irritating. We can't even go for one meeting going to schedule. That's a world record, I promise. That's something like you get out of Donald Trump or somebody like that, isn't it? You got to pass it to get it. It's a little irritating, but hey, we're going to be here. And we'll talk a little bit later about some changes on the budget, things of transparency, and I'm big on transparency. Had a good time with the Coastal Commission the other day. You guys ever had a good time? Did a Jedi mind trick for Larry there, went straight on to consent, didn't even have to talk about it. That worked for all of us, didn't it? Zipped all the cannabis ordinance through in 5 minutes. Can you imagine how that went? Only 2 people spoke, John Ford and myself. I'm in favor of all 4. Let's just do it. Cool. It's amazing how that stuff works when you got good karma. Some people have good karma and others don't.
Hi, I'm Jeff Hunterlock, operating engineers. This is public comment, so I'm speaking as a public observant. I don't know where we go out and we build things or buy products or do things until we have the permits to do them. And we're talking about dredging, and Larry's got a lot of great ideas. But I would suggest before you start putting the pipe together and putting the whole operation together to pump stuff on the ground that you don't have permits for because it's going out to the hood. And that's what the permit's
Excuse
for.
me, is this on the agenda?
Yeah, it is on the agenda.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Item's not on the agenda.
I'm not talking about the future project. I'm just talking
Well, you're talking
as
about
authorization for observing of seeing the pipe putting together, and I don't think that we should be wasting money until we have the permits to do it. That's all I'm saying. Has nothing to do with the project at hand.
Yeah, like Team Family or something like that.
Well, I'm not being specific. I'm just saying, you don't go buy the products until you have a permit to build a house, and I don't think you should be wasting taxpayers' money or Harbor Commission money putting pipe together out on the peninsula to pump stuff that may or may never be used. So that's just a comment. Thank you.
Yeah, the special meeting. I think we really should talk about, or we had some understanding of how these special meetings get set. I mean, oh, you're right, Driscoll, Arcata. How did we get here? I mean, how does this happen so quickly like that? I mean, the last meeting, it was pretty clear that wasn't going to happen. But anyway, my wife isn't real happy that I had to take out, kind of daytime to come talk to you guys. But anyway, not on the agenda. Last meeting, I delivered something about the dog ranch, and I think we ought to somehow talk about that again, because the agreement that you entered into was a lot different then than what is available now, or what's going on now. A lot of new information. So I think before it just gets kind of ushered through in some, quick special meeting that we need to have another discussion about what is happening there and what are the ramifications of the Harbor District acquiring that even for a short time. This is sort of a dredging thing, but I've also brought up and had some email discussions with Patrick about the king salmon issue and the $2 million that was received by the Harbor Commission to dredge that fisherman's channel, and where that money went. We know some of it went to the dredge, but where did the rest of that money go? It doesn't seem to be identified in any of the columns. So I think that's still a promise that is, has to be kept, and I think that money should be in a separate account somewhere, but we don't really know where that went. So, Patrick, you didn't know where that went. You said, 5 years worth of trying to get it permitted, but that's not.
You don't get permits, it still costs money. Your staff has to go.
Yeah, but not $2 million, So where did that money go? That's a legitimate question, and I think we should be able to have a clear understanding. Thank you.
Good evening, Karen Brooks in Bayside. On a personal note, and congratulations, Mr. Dale, on some wonderful family developments. It's good stuff.
Thank you.
You all have wonderful things going on in your family. I'm commenting on a couple things. One is more of a point of order for the special meeting. I couldn't find any supporting documents for the agenda on the website. So that huge packet of paper did not go with the agenda. So I don't know legally if you can really conduct any business because the public couldn't access that. So that's a point of order, and you may want to be able to speak to that. One point B is I'd like to really commend Larry and the work that he's been doing. It really seems like there's a lot of stuff happening with the harbor, and getting all this dredging going with the Corps of Engineers was a major feat, but that's not all you've been doing, so I just want to commend you and your staff for the hard work that you're doing. Really appreciate seeing stuff move forward, so thank you. And then my 2.0 comment is in regards to, there was a consent item on here that I'd like you to pull off and be discussed, and it's regarding the Humboldt Bay Physical Oceanic Real-Time System. I think that's a good refresher course for the public to see that information. And one last thing is, I'm with the Humboldt Bay Harbor Working Group, and we do our monthly meetings the last Wednesday of each month at Small Cook House. We have a lot of really great topics that we go over. What I do a lot for that organization is look at a lot of the ports along the West Coast and actually throughout the country, and really kind of compare and contrast what kind of developments are going on with them. And Humboldt Bay does not really look like this is an active port. The information that we have on the internet through Caltrans, through the harbor, what's known within the industry is really not positive, doesn't put our best foot forward. So that's something I think that needs to be addressed. And last week I was doing some research, and when you went to the port division of the website, it kept clicking me out. Like I couldn't pull down the menus and stuff. Today, I could do that. But the information that's on the website is okay, it's adequate. But the information that's out in the internet and out in the world, I think really needs to be refined and updated. So thank you so much for letting me comment.
Any other commenters?
Evening.
David Elbow, I have the fishing vessel for regular. I've been tying up in the marina for 25 or 30 years, something like that. And I'm absolutely thrilled to hear that looks like we might get dredge. And it appears that about $600,000 is about what the tenants have paid in surcharges for dredging. And according to the schedule, you're going to prioritize the travel lift ahead of our slips. And it seems to me that the travel lift ought to come out of a different pocket. I've had problems here because when I went on the bottom of my slip, it made a leak in my boat. There was like 2 feet of water in it when I got to the boat. It cost me $3,000 to make the repairs. And we really need to get our slips dredged. So I'd like to see that prioritized. If that's our money that we collected, then it ought to be spent in a priority for our slips.
Any other comments for items not on the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move to the consent calendar. We've had a request to pull reports.
I'll make a motion that we accept the rest of the consent calendar.
I'll second.
That's without item G.
Right.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So let's talk about the agreement with HSU for the management of the ports project. Larry?
Yes, I believe this is the 11th year, I think, in this contract. And basically what the ports does is there's monitoring equipment that are on some of the buoys that are out in the bay and on Chevron dock. And it's really being funded through Chevron. And what this does is it's looking at the currents and other different parameters in case there's an oil spill. Then you can quickly deploy some of the apparatus that we have at both the field training boatyard and also on the Eureka side of the bay. There's NRM, I believe it is, or some of the companies. MSRC has their equipment that's over there. And so that's really what this contract is all about. It's a partnership that we've had with Humboldt State University, the Chevron Corporation. And one of the big changes that's happening right now is that the Coast Guard has been changing out some of the fixed station buoys that are out there. And those are the same locations where the sensors are located. And so we really, over the last 4 or 5 months, the Harbor District, the Coast Guard, and Chevron and the Harbor Safety Committee have been kind of looking at this. And the Coast Guard's been really cooperative in helping to kind of relocate some of the equipment from as they're taking out the buoys and basically putting the new buoys on. And so it looks like everything is going pretty well. There's always ups and downs. One of the key problems, just the grant has basically had the same amount of money from the beginning, just like most programs. They never increase over time, and the equipment is starting to age. Anybody that goes out there, you know the marine mammals are torturous on the equipment, and they'll just completely destroy some of the cables and some other things. Batteries, starting to go through batteries. The equipment is starting to get a little bit aged. And so one of the things over the course of the next couple of years that we're going to be trying to do is to upgrade some of the equipment so that we make sure that we have this important information. And then lastly, we had talked about trying to get some of the information out there just on the web because you never know who can use data, whether it's the fishermen or kayakers or whoever might be interested in the information. And so we talked about just getting the information and putting it up on the web so that the whole world can access it. And, you never know what happens when you put out information. So that's my update. I would recommend that the board adopt the amended agreement.
So moved.
Richard? Yeah.
For the public.
Yeah. We can go. You have a...
Well, second to
Okay.
further.
Any comments here at the board?
I just think it's a great program. I've used it a lot just in recreational boating. You can pull it up and see the currents and which way the tide's going and how fast and all that.
I think the pilots and the shipping industry use it pretty commonly.
And you can feed it into models whenever you're doing kind of any kind of impact statement, and so it's very useful data. And then we also have like a Senkus network that has a whole nother.
This isn't talking with Senkus, though. That's one of the problems with this, and we've talked to HSU